Who actually knew that Mariah Carey had a diss track on Eminem?
In 2012, MGK posted a tweet about M's daughter Hailey.
We've had so much Drake hate on this episode, and I'm here for it. Hello, welcome back to the Man Overboard podcast. This week, it's rap's biggest diss tracks / beefs of all time.
So these are going to be beefs that were massive, beefs that destroyed people, but also, you know, I've got one or two that I just enjoyed. They weren't really beefs as a whole, but they were kind of diss tracks, so we're going to throw some of those in. A bit of flavour, a bit of here, there, and everywhere.
Let's do it. I'm going to go first with probably the most recent massive rap beef, and that is the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef. This has been incredible. I think in my entire lifetime, as an adult, actually being able to consume the lyrics and know what's been said and see it all going down on the internet, this has been by far the biggest rap beef. Mm-hmm. Would you agree? Do you think there's been anything even close in the last decade?
Not in terms of going back and forth and the speed in which they went back and forth, and also the size of the tracks. I don't think there's been anything, even in our lifetime, to be fair, that's matched this.
No, maybe not.
In terms of size.
But I'm not going to go into every single track, right? There's too many. I can't just go here, there, and everywhere. There's about 10 different tracks from different rappers, etc., that all reference it. So I'm just going to go over my favourite diss tracks in this. I'll give a little bit of a background first. So between Kendrick and Drake, there's been some sly digs, some little comments on tracks throughout the years. I had a little bit of research earlier, and there was some saying even going back to like 2013, 2014, there's been a bit of bad blood there. But it really boiled over not too long ago. It was actually J. Cole who really kicked this off, because J. Cole said that himself, Drake, and Kenny are the big three.
Yes, I do remember that.
And then that led to Kendrick jumping on a track with Metro Boomin. That's
Not
a weird
Broomin.
Metro Grooming.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Metro Boomin and Future called Like That.
Yes.
And in that song, the main bar that everyone remembers is "Motherfuck the Big Three. It's just Big Me." Mm-hmm. And then that is what booted all of this off. To be honest, I don't even really want to talk about Drake's replies because they're pretty crap.
They're mid.
They are mid.
They're mid.
Maybe
there was one decent one.
Maybe if he was beefing a different rapper, I think it might have gone down slightly differently.
Definitely.
But because it's Kendrick, it makes his songs look so poor. But from that track, what was it? Like That.
Yeah.
J. Cole actually did come back and released a diss track on Kendrick called 7 Minute Drill. But literally within a few days, J. Cole publicly apologised on stage and removed the songs from all streaming platforms.
Yeah, he pulled it entirely.
So he was sat, he was thinking, do I really want that smoke? Like, is that me?
Do I really want to go toe-to-toe with Kendrick Lamar? And
Just not a good idea.
Not at all.
Kanye West also did a remix of Like That where he went at the rappers, mainly J. Cole actually, from what I remember.
I felt like Kanye just jumped on it because he was like that kind of guy who sees a fight going on and just joins in to throw a couple of kicks and then runs away.
He just joined the winning side for a second.
He's just like, yeah, fuck you.
Because no one else has referenced him in the rest of them. But J. Cole in the past has had a song pretty much directed at Kanye and No Role Models. So, you know, there's maybe a bit of bad blood there. But my two favourite diss tracks from all of these between Kendrick and Drake, the first of which is actually Meet the Grahams by Kendrick Lamar. To me, right, this, when I heard it for the first time, do you know, like when something drops and you put it on, it sounded like a horror film.
Yes. Yeah, I know which one it is now. Yeah.
Honestly, I was sat listening. It was dark. It was dingy. It's like I was in a cellar with Kendrick Lamar and he had like pictures of Drake on the wall.
So when this one dropped, I think it was about 4 a.m. our time. And for whatever reason, I'd woken up in the middle of the night and I checked Twitter because this is when the beef was all going off. And I checked Twitter and I think that this was in response to Drake's Family Matters, which was the one before this. Mm-hmm. And this was released within a couple of hours or something. So I saw Family Matters and I was looking at all that stuff and I was going, oh, Drake's, you know, he's fighting his fight. He's trying his best. And then I saw that this had dropped and I went, holy fucking shit. Because he goes, it's so dark and so decrepit and he's going every family member, but I'll let you go into it.
It's wild. And for context, for anyone listening, there was a few other, like Drake had a track. There was a Kendrick track called Euphoria before this.
Euphoria was really
good.
good.
Euphoria was really good as well. As I say, I don't want to go into 10 songs though. But so Meet the Grahams had a verse dedicated to practically every single one of Drake's family members. So there was a verse dedicated to his mum, to his dad, to his son, to Drake himself, and this was the big revelation of the song, to Drake's apparent hidden daughter.
Yeah. So this was similar to something that's happened to Drake in the past that we'll touch on later in the episode. And it was such a bombshell because listening to the track, you're like, okay, he's talking to his mom. Okay, he's talking to his dad. Oh, he's talking to Drake. And then when he addresses this unknown child, you're like, holy shit, has he just pulled a fucking rabbit out of the hat? Like, what the fuck's going on here? It was nuts.
It is wild, bro. Honestly, I don't know if it's real still. That's the problem. No one knows if it's true, but it seems like Drake tried saying he was feeding him some false information and stuff at one point, but why would you feed someone false information about you having a daughter?
In the same track, though, he spoke about him feeding him false information, but then also went on to say that what he was saying had truth to it. And like he just kept countering his claims in his own tracks. And it was just like, Drake, at least pick a lane and stay in it. It felt like what he was doing is realizing that the internet was on the side of OVO feeding him fake information, and there was an OVO leak that was giving Kendrick all the responses, so he knew that Family Matters was coming out and all this shit. There definitely was a leak of sorts within OVO, but not a purposeful one on Drake's part. I don't think he was purposefully letting this information get out.
No, there's no way that he was going out and doing that.
He's not
off his own accord.
Big-brained.
No, definitely not. But I wanted to read a couple of lines from this song. So there's one, honestly, this was so twisted, man. I can't believe it. So one of the lines from Meet the Grahams is, your son's a sick man with sick thoughts. I think like him should die. Mm-hmm. Do you know how mad that is to say when he's directing it to his mother, to say, your son's a sick man with sick thoughts. I think like him should die. Bro, who even says that?
It's insane. It's insane. There was literally no bars held in this. He just said, fuck it, I'm going all out.
That's personal venom. And then another bar, I'm looking to shoot through any pervert that lives, keep the family safe.
Unreal.
Man, there's so many. There's so many. And then let me pull this up actually, because the outro to this song is actually just disgusting. Like the way that he does Drake, Kendrick is just a different level throughout this beef. And anyone that still thinks that
anybody that thinks Drake even held a torch to Kendrick's attacks on this is fucking insane. They're deluded is the problem. And Drake stands are in the camp of some other artist stands where no matter what they do, they can't do wrong and they will defend them to the end of the earth. But there's certain points in which you have to go, all right, yeah, he lost that one.
So this bit right at the end, it's really just completely taking away Drake's character. So it says, why believe you? You never gave us nothing to believe in. You lied about religious views. You lied about your surgery. You lied about your accent and your past tense. It's all perjury. Yeah, that's. I hate reading stuff, man. It always fucking fumbles me.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah, I know, but I thought about it. You lied about your ghostwriters. You lied about your crew members. They all pussy. You lied on them. I know they got you in them. You lied about your son. You lied about your daughter. You lied about them other kids that's out there hoping you come. You lied about the only artist that can offer you some help. Fuck a rap battle. This is a lifelong battle with yourself. Fuck a rap battle. This is a lifelong battle with yourself.
He's literally telling him, like, you need to sort your shit out. You've got problems. He's the way that he constructed his disses against Drake was so intricate and so well done that there was no way that it could have been picked apart by even perhaps the best rapper.
Even like the best ghostwriter couldn't do anything against that.
Yeah, true. Yeah, like if Kendrick went against... I couldn't really name many rappers that he could go against that could go bar for bar in terms of intricacy and how he put it together, other than perhaps Eminem, who is the king of disses. But that would never happen anyway because there's no animosity there. They're buddy-buddy, and I can't ever see that happening. So for Drake to think that he stood a fucking chance against Kendrick Lamar, of all people, just because of his size or because of which, by the way, Kendrick is now bigger than Drake on Spotify. He gets more monthly listens. Yep. And I mean, just in general, these songs destroyed Drake's numbers.
Well, I was going to say the next song I want to talk about won't be as much of an in-depth analysis of it, but the other one, the last diss track of the run, was Not Like Us.
Yeah.
By Kendrick Lamar. And this is a bop. They've been playing it in clubs. They've been playing it at people's birthdays.
I've seen elderly people in a retirement home dancing and singing to this song.
I've
seen kids at parties dancing and singing to this song, calling Drake a nonce. Children calling Drake a nonce. Like, when you get to that point, you've just got to fucking step down, which he did, to be fair.
Yeah,
he said, like, you know what? You
I'm
got
done.
me. You got me.
He had him. 2 lines from this that just live in the mind forever. Certified lover boys, certified pedophiles.
Yeah. What?
And then, it's just mad. And then trying to strike a chord.
It's probably A minor.
You know what I mean, though?
Yeah.
But yeah, this came out about 5 or 6 weeks ago now, if not longer. In the world, it's the number 1 most listened to song globally on Apple Music. And it's the number 5 most listened to song globally on Spotify this week. Still.
And it was released ages
And
ago.
it was
and when it
number
came
1.
out, it was number 1. Yeah.
This is going to live on forever, and this will forever taint Drake's legacy.
100%. Did Drake respond to this?
I don't think so.
I think he did.
If he did, it
Because
doesn't
I remember
matter.
people saying that he said something about A minor, you're talking in B major or something. And he came up with something that
he
was...
might have done.
But then the major chord for B was
But
actually A minor.
This is the whole thing, though. It doesn't matter.
No, because nobody knows about it anyway. Nobody is ever going to be there singing about that song, so...
So it's just game over for him.
Yeah.
That's it.
And the thing is, there's no way... It's not that he can't come back from this. He's just been defeated. But the problem with Drake is, not the problem, but the thing about Drake is that this doesn't matter as long as he just keeps releasing hits. Like if he releases another God's Plan, if he releases another One Dance or anything like that, he will still get radio play. He'll still have fans that won't give a shit about the Kendrick beef. And he'll still have people that listen to him in the clubs and that won't care that he got destroyed by Kendrick. So this won't damage his career as much as it should have, purely because of Drake's size, so he's lucky there, but also because Drake ain't a real rapper. Drake ain't a fucking real rapper.
The only people who are going to Drake shows is teenage girls and their boyfriends.
Yeah, exactly. And that's Drake's key demographic for both his relationships and his fans.
But that's all from me on this beef.
Oh, what a good beef. What a good beef. And we lived through that, which is fucking insane. Because a lot of beefs kind of happened. No, well, I mean, we probably would have been alive, but they happened at times when we perhaps weren't that into that
probably a
stuff.
bit too young to actually fully understand the meaning of what was being said as well.
Yeah,
or at least that's how I view it.
Yeah. So what I'm going to come in with is Ice Cube.
Oh.
And No Vaseline. So this was the diss that he did against NWA. Now, I don't know if you know much about the history of Ice Cube and NWA.
Well, I know about the history between them two, but I didn't know about this specific track.
So this is... I listen to this track a lot. And it's mainly because the bass line in it is really funky. So recently I added it to my bass playlist, which is a playlist that I just run through and play along to. So this will come on very often. So I really like this track. Just pure, it's an earworm and it's just so fantastically put together. So Ice Cube left NWA in 1989 due to royalty issues. And this diss as a whole is aimed at the other NWA members, which is Eazy-E, Dr. Dre, MC Ren, and DJ Yella. But it's also aimed at their manager, Jerry Heller, who Ice Cube blames for causing like a rift between the group anyway.
Right.
So Jerry Heller is the person that Ice Cube basically pins the fall of NWA on.
This is on you.
Yeah. So Ice Cube recorded this song in response to NWA, who made some comments on their albums after he'd left the group. They released 2 albums, and they basically made a couple of disses here and there on the tracks, and were just basically throwing shade at Ice Cube. So he said, fuck this. I'm coming back with a whole ass track and we'll see who's fucking standing after this. So Ice Cube, basically, the crux of it is going at every member, but mostly he's going at Eazy-E for getting too buddy-buddy with Heller, the manager. And he says, heard you both got the same bank account. Dumb, what you thinking about? And he uses a lot of homophobic and anti-Semitic slurs, because I think Jerry Heller might be Jewish. And then he's just throwing homophobic slurs because that was the time, and that's what rap beefs have been up to about 2010, are just full of you suck dick. Is
So
basically
you're just
the
going to be
crux of
just
it.
homophobic for the whole episode.
That's
Tim.
it. Yeah, essentially
nothing
is what's
new there,
happening
mate.
here.
Carry on.
So what he was saying was, and there's also claims that their alliance has basically ruined Eazy's credibility as a gangster as a whole. So he said, House got to run and hide, yell in Compton, but you moved to Riverside, essentially saying, you think you're from the hood, but you're not.
Yeah.
You're not anymore.
You've left.
You've basically left entirely. And he also references Eazy's appearance at a lunch benefiting. Basically, it was hosted by George W. Bush at the time. And Eazy-E went to that, and he said, "There's a chorus of this song. I don't know if you can call it a chorus, but he basically says, "I never have dinner with the president. I never have dinner with the president." And he repeats that a couple of times, and he's basically getting at Eazy-E, basically saying, "I can't believe that you've done that after we've said fuck the police and anti-government messages, and now you're going having this party dinner with the president of the United States."
It's a bit of a cop out.
It's very sus behaviour.
But then I'd have dinner with the president.
Well, if you got offered it, but the thing is, I think Ice Cube probably would have been offered it at some point, and he said, I'm not doing that because it goes against my entire image. They've been fuck the government, they've been fuck the police the whole way through.
Yeah, true. I was more thinking if it was Biden, he'd probably fall asleep. He could steal his Rolex or something.
Yeah, I'd go for Biden because he'd say something fucking off the hook that would just
record it and sell it.
He'd walk into a wall or something. He's an NPC, Biden.
He'd be eating rice pudding. Through a straw.
Really slowly, and it's all dribbling down him. Get his bib, the Biden bib, get the Biden bib. So NWA never responded, and soon after, Dre left the group. And basically, the reason why Dre left was a similar reason, saying that he wasn't recouping enough, he wasn't getting paid enough. Like Jerry Haller's holding the funds, and that's when the group disbanded, and they all started their own solo careers, which went well for some people. Not so well for others. And in 2006, Jerry Haller released a book called Ruthless, a Memoir, and he wrote that he believed that Ice Cube was never actually anti-Semitic, even though he threw all of this anti-Semitic lingo at him. He was basically saying it's just part of the rap. He's not actually, he doesn't actually think that stuff. But then in 2022, your good friend Kanye West... I don't know why he's your good friend, but he is. Stated in an interview that Ice Cube's lyrics had really influenced him to get on his anti-Semite vibe, which is arguably hilarious because Ice Cube never ever wanted it to be like that. He was just doing it because it's bars, and he was angry at the time, and you were allowed, maybe not allowed, but it was expected for you to be saying that kind of stuff on diss tracks. And Ice Cube responded by distancing himself from Ye, and basically saying, I don't know what Ye meant by his statements. You're going to have to ask him. I didn't put the batteries in his back. Please leave my name out of all the anti-Semitic talk. I'm not anti-Semitic and never have been. Which is basically him clearing the air and just saying, look, I never have been.
It's just a rap beef.
And Jerry Haller putting it in his book as well, saying, I never thought that. And that's the person who had it aimed at him. Basically confirms it that, it never was anything personal. It was just, as a whole... It was just aimed at them, and that was the disses that he was coming with.
I see a rap beef as, do you know when you say if you're watching a live comedy show or comedian, you can't get offended by the jokes?
Yeah.
A rap beef is, if he's saying something and trying to offend someone and hurt someone personally, then I'm not going to sit and get offended by it.
Yeah,
so,
because it's not for you to do.
There's countless homophobic lines, but I ain't here crying.
Yeah,
it just is what it is.
It just happens. That's just what part of it is. And as a whole, this diss track, I would argue, is possibly one of the best diss tracks out there.
Especially due to the impact it had on one of the biggest rap groups in history.
That didn't respond, let me just add. Yeah. They did not respond to this and disbanded not soon after it was released.
How long after? Well, what was the time frame?
I don't know what the time frame was.
Like a couple of years, within a year or two?
Within a year or so, yeah,
okay.
I think.
Well, yeah, that's massive then.
And I mean, it was also Dre dropping out and saying, yeah, you know what, fuck this shit. I'm not getting paid nearly enough. I'm going to do my own stuff, which in turn did fucking amazing for Dre. We wouldn't have had half the shit that we do nowadays if this hadn't happened.
Wouldn't have had Dre whispering at the start of that.
I said dead people. Yeah.
But no,
which ties in nicely to your diss track as well.
Exactly. But now Dre's gone on to become one of the biggest musical legends and one of the biggest impactors on the rap game. So maybe this was actually a huge favour.
Yeah. And that's it. That's the end of the beef.
I like that.
Yeah, it was good. It was very good. And if you've not listened to No Vaseline by Ice Cube, I implore you to do so, because it not only is it a great diss and the stuff that you say, it's funny. There's a lot of like, you say this, well, I say this, and you just go, that's just fucking jokes. But also, it's just a bop. It's a bop through and through. Kind of like how Not Like Us is a bop. This was another diss that, you know, you could just listen to and have it on and just spin it. And I think at the time, was it Death Row or somebody like that? Was that Suge Knight? Was that Death Row?
I don't know enough.
Basically, I think it was either that or the other one. I can't remember which. Rockefeller. I think it was probably Death Row. They put this track on that album of their greatest hits, even though he wasn't signed to it, because Suge Knight had such an issue with NWA at the time, or whichever it was. He just said, right, we're going to throw this in because it was so good and we're going to let it go. And, you know, it was great.
Those old school American rap beefs in that era were wild.
Yeah, insane.
Really wild.
Proper insane.
But I'm going to bring it back from America all the way to the UK in a rap beef, which you probably don't know that much about. I think when I say it, you will. But I would argue, at least in the last 20 years, this is UK rap or Grime's biggest beef.
Okay, I think I know who it is.
Who is it?
Skepta.
No.
Is it not Transformers?
Oh, I forgot about that. No, that's a mad one. But
yeah, go on.
This is Chipmunk or Chip versus the whole UK grime scene.
Oh shit! Which year was this though?
2015.
Oh, so the one before. So this isn't Chip and Storms.
No, because
I forgot about Chip and Storms.
Chip and Storms was massive, right? And I considered putting that because I know you love Storms.
So disappointed. Oh, I forgot about that whole. I'm gonna have to listen to that after this episode.
And I thought you might have had Storms and Wiley as well.
Yeah, Storms and Wiley, of course. Yeah.
Maybe we could do a part
that was
two.
so disappointed, wasn't it? That was Storms and Wiley.
Yeah, I can't remember. I don't know. I don't know. But
anyway.
Chip in 2015, right, completely obliterated the grime scene. So obviously Chipmunk, as he was known previously, he kind of started off in UK rap and then went more mainstream, tried breaking America, did a track with Chris Brown, did loads of big things, got like I think he got a number 2 single here. And anyway, he got quite a big name in the UK. Yeah, everyone kind of knew who he was. And then he came back to grime. Like he disappeared for a little bit off the main stage, whatever, and came back to grime. And there was a lot of rumblings. A lot of people weren't happy about it. They were saying stuff about it in interviews that, he thinks he can come back now that grime's doing well. No. And then Chip did a Fire in the Booth with Charlie Sloth.
Fire in the Booth, my guy.
Yes. And then he said at the end of that Fire in the Booth, if anyone has a problem, if anyone wants to say anything to me, do it. Like, I'll smoke all of you. I will battle anyone. I will win.
Hell.
Right? And then this led to Bugsy Malone coming out and dissing Chip. And, bro, there was a period where, like, Bugsy Malone dissed Chip. Big Nasty said something about him in an interview. Tiny Temper.
Big Nasty, what's he doing getting involved for?
Well, he's kind of an OG of the game, isn't he?
I know, but he's not exactly got the bars to go against anyone.
Tiny Temper had some bars against Chip. Loads of people, right? I know.
Who are these? Who do they think they are?
A lot of different people. And then all of a sudden, on a random cold night, Chip hit back with a song called Pepper Riddim, right? And he replied to 6 different disses in one song.
Yo.
Like, he just went boom, 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 you. It was just wild, right? And then this led to... So everyone will remember this as just like the Chip and Bugsy Malone beef, because that's what it was really. That they were the main 2 people beefing, but everyone was just catching strays. Young'un was in there as well. Young'un was another person.
True.
But bro, so between Chip and Bugsy, from that Pepper Riddim, including that, there was 10 diss tracks back and forth.
Fucking hell. But do you know what period of time? Roughly?
Like nearly like 2 years. Like it was just going. Because I think like... Chip would do one and then Bugsy would do one, and then it got to a mad point where Chip dropped 4 diss tracks in a row.
Fucking hell.
4.
Fucking hell.
Right.
Bang, 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 bang.
This brings me on to what is my favourite diss track, and it's 96 Bars of Revenge, which 96 Bars of Revenge is something that's been used throughout the UK rap scene. JME's had a song called that, and this was actually produced by JME as well. So when you're beefing, this song had bars against Young'un, Bugsy Malone, and Tiny Temper, and you've got JME on production.
Fuck me.
I remember listening to this. I must have been in like
star-studded.
I must have been like 16, 17, and I was thinking, this is mad.
This is insane.
Like, it was absolutely crazy.
What the fuck?
But Chip went about it in a different way. You know, UK rap now feels like it's very centered around violence and things along those lines. It's more drill. But Chip didn't do that in all of these disses. And one of the bars from 96 Bars of Revenge, that's fucking a weird one to say, isn't it? They can outshoot me, they can outstab me, but mum's life, they can't outverse me. And I think that kind of epitomizes this whole beef, because when people look back at it, I feel like people say, oh, Bugsy won, or Bugsy nearly won, but he actually didn't. He won in the battle of, probably could have won in a fight, but in terms of the songs, he had absolutely nowhere near as many bars as Chip. And it was such an interesting point for me, because he was battling 6 people at once. And there was people coming with diss tracks all the time. Like Young'un was releasing diss tracks on him. Tiny Temper did. What the fuck happened to Tiny Temper, by the way?
Innit? That's why when you mentioned him earlier, I was like, what's he doing getting involved? Why would he even bother? Labyrinth, come in. Like, fuck off. Fuck the fuck off. Who does he think he is?
No, but this is an interesting point, actually. So this beef, as I said, spanned from like 2015 to 2017. And it happens to be that 2017 was the last year Tiny Temper ever released an album.
Well, I mean, it's not a coincidence, that, is it, really?
He was massive, though.
It was huge. Absolutely huge.
Fucking huge.
Yeah.
And the last album he released, and this is after the real beef with Chip had ended, he got a number 1 single, a number 5 single, and the album got a number 9 in the charts. And that was 7 years ago, and he's not released another album. He's had a couple singles and a couple features, but not even any he's really promoted, which is weird.
Do you think it got in his head?
I think he's turned into more of a celebrity. Yeah. Like, he does stuff.
Does he produce, maybe?
I don't know.
Like behind the scenes?
I looked at his Instagram earlier, and it seems like he just does like TV stuff, works on the odd little tune. He did an interview with Ian Wright from Arsenal, so he talks about Arsenal a lot. And I suppose once you're that high up, maybe you think, and you're getting slandered by Chip, you're thinking, I can just earn more and chill doing this TV stuff. And then he'll probably just release an album in another couple of years, and everyone will buy it thinking, oh, Tiny Temper, I haven't heard of him in a while.
Yeah, true. Yeah, he's just like, I'm going to play it calm. If I release more music, I might get slaughtered more, which might damage my career more. So if I just stay out of the firing line, I mean, rightfully so. Tiny Temper.
Bro, it's weird, isn't it? I was like, what? Weird. His name's Patrick as well.
Patrick.
Yeah.
Patrick Temper.
I don't think Temper's actually second. It might be, I don't know. But yeah, so one thing I want to talk about, I've bigged up Chip a lot, but Bugsy Malone had a diss track in this called Relegation Rhythm. And I feel like anyone that liked UK rap and grime around 2015, 2016 was bumping Relegation Rhythm, right? And the video for this song was just crazy. So they filmed the video in Tottenham, next to a sign where I think they were building the new Tottenham Stadium, but it clearly stated it was being filmed in Tottenham, which is where Chip's from and where he represents. So, it's kind of his ends. And then Big Nasty was in the video with Bugsy Malone in Tottenham dissing Chip. Oh, it was mad. And then there was a line in it which, when I was re-listening to it earlier, I was like, this is actually pretty sick. Hiring Chris Brown out for the day, but you still didn't even get to chart proper. Going on like you're a chart topper. Chris Brown was dancing on a bus, then hit Riri with a showstopper.
Oh, no.
And in the video for Oopsie Daisy with Chip and Chris Brown was dancing on top of the bus. So that's a fucking...
Oh, God.
Bro.
Oh, no.
But there was a lot of unbelievable bars in that Bugsy Malone.
Showstopper.
Bro, that's crazy.
Oh, that's bad.
But yeah, in this period between all the rappers, there was like 20 plus diss tracks all just flying about.
Fuck me. Did Big Nasty ever release
I don't know.
Full diss?
I don't think so.
I reckon he might have thrown some sublims in some
I feel like he might have said like Chip's the dickhead and then gone
yeah and then
just smoked a zoot. That was his old diss track.
I thought you were on about he had a fucking sleep apnea mask on or something.
No, I mean
yeah, he's all about the CBD, bro.
But yeah, it was a crazy period. I think one of the most fun periods in UK rap. And I think actually in terms of UK rap beef, Chip is the best. Chip is undefeated. He is better than anyone else. And I actually won't hear anything otherwise.
I can't deny it.
Because he'll go against anyone.
Yeah, he doesn't care. And I think there might have to be a part 2 to this because I completely forgot about the whole Stormzy. Because it was Stormzy,
Maybe why don't we
Wiley
do
and
just
Chipmunk.
like a dedicated UK rap one? Because there's quite a lot still.
Yeah, there is.
Because there's like Skepta and Devilman that I didn't mention.
Oh my God, yeah, there is, isn't there? Holy shit.
And Devilman was involved in that as well, actually. He did like 4 Chipmunk diss tracks in that period.
He just does anything.
I didn't mention him because he's an actual wrong'un.
Yeah, he is. He proper is. But that would, let's do that. Let's do that.
What's your next one, Tim?
Anyway, so we're going to move over. I'm trying to decide who to do. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an Eminem one.
Oh.
So I've got 2 Eminem ones, but the first one that I'm going to do is Eminem The Warning. I don't know if you know much about this, but this is a diss against Mariah Carey. Do you know about this?
No, I'm not
Do
sure.
you not know about this at all?
No.
Okay, right. This is brilliant. There's a story for this. Holy shit. So this is up there with one of the most listenable diss tracks ever. Obviously until Not Like Us came along, which beat it out entirely, but this was a very listenable track. So M basically he dated Mariah Carey on the download for a period of time between the Marshall Mathers LP and the Eminem show. Nobody really knows for how long. And some rumors surfaced, and Mariah basically denied that they ever saw each other and was like straight up like, those rumors are not true. That never happened. So M mentioned her a couple of times on the Eminem show. And then there's a line in Superman where he's dissing it, and then when the music stops, he says, "What do you take me for, a joke? You smoking crack? For I do that, I'll beg Mariah to take me back." Which is basically him confirming that, you know, they were together for a little while. And he's clearly either pissed off about how it ended or pissed off about her denial of it ever happening. Hard to tell what the reason for him throwing that shade was. But years later on Relapse, he dissed both Mariah and her new husband, who was Nick Cannon, of all people, who he would later go on to have beef with, but never respond to him, and Nick Cannon just kept firing disses. I don't know if you remember that. Yeah. It was quite recent. Stupid. And it was on the track Bagpipes from Baghdad, where he's basically just rinsing them both and saying, like, I don't give a fuck, good luck with your new husband, all this shit, and just completely going in. And Nick Cannon wrote a blog about it, which goes to show when this was, that was even relevant. And then Mariah Carey, I don't know if you know the song Obsessed. Are you so obsessed? That's about Eminem. You ever seen the music video? The music video basically features a clear caricature of M. It's this guy in this grey hoodie with a hood up with a cap on, like a little Kangol, walking around.
I'm slightly worried that you might be in like a conspiracy hole here and it's not actually all...
No, this is... No, have you seen the music video for Obsessed?
No,
it's genuinely about Eminem. It's 1,000% about Eminem. So she released the song Obsessed, which had Eminem caricature in the music video.
That's wild.
Following her around and like following her up the streets and all that stuff. And if you only listen to the track, you wouldn't really know that it was about M. You just think it's like, why is anybody so obsessed with me? You don't really think it's aimed at people. I think that's the problem with a lot of subliminal diss tracks, is that you'll never know who it's actually about. But when she released the music video, it was very clear what her intentions were. And also, very interesting that there was a diss track of sorts that wasn't a rap diss.
Yeah, that is pretty bad.
It's Mariah Carey singing a song.
Who actually knew that Mariah Carey had a diss track on Eminem?
It's insane, isn't it? It's insane. So this pisses off M to no end. So obviously he releases The Warning, which is, as it is, a warning to Mariah Carey to fucking wind her neck in and stop saying this shit out. So Mariah and Nick then just shut the fuck up after he dropped The Warning.
Bro, why?
They just didn't reply, at all. They've just gone silent. And suggesting that either, because on The Warning, M basically said, you know, I've got all these voicemails, I've got recordings of us doing stuff together. In the track itself, he uses voicemails that Mariah left him, and also has Mariah singing the hook that he got her to record for a different song, and uses little samples of her voice in his diss against Mariah Carey. And he basically says, look, I've got all this dirt on you, don't even try me. Which then makes people wonder if like M wasn't bluffing and the reason they didn't respond was because, you know, he's got all this dirt on him. Although Mariah stans will tell you that it's because, well, he's obsessed, so he only released that track because he's obsessed with her and he just wanted to come back to her, and that's why he released this whole thing. I don't know how true that is personally, because it's very damning, some of the stuff that he says. And he told her to tell the world one more time we weren't together and I'll show him everything I've got. And if he was full of shit, Mariah would have called him out and said, prove it, and made him look like an idiot. But instead, she never denied it again. and also she never confirmed it, but she never denied it. And it's kind of left an open side where it's like, did he have more shit? Because I don't think
he definitely
would not release a track saying all that shit if he was bluffing. Because if he got called out, it would have ended his career.
Yeah, and he's very on the battles.
Yeah, of course he is. So him using her own voice against her is the cherry on top. Like, that's just so fucking amazing that he did that. Some of the best lines in it, some of the lines that I like. I was going to stop at 16. That was 32. This is 34 bars. We ain't even a third of the way through. Basically saying, I'm still going. And he says, bitch, shut the fuck up before I put out all them phone calls you made to my house. I can describe areas of your house you wouldn't find on an episode of Cribs. So bro has dirt. And essentially, nothing happened after that. It fizzled out. Nick Cannon, later years, 2018, 2019, whenever it was, started throwing shade at M. Tried to do that whole thing where M
Was he still with Mariah at that point?
No. This is way after. They were married for a little while, but then they broke up. I mean, it happens with celebrities, isn't it? It's like 3 years of marriage and then gone forever.
3 years max.
Yeah.
Puff, puff, pass.
Yeah, literally.
Big Nasty appears in the corner.
Big Nasty and Mariah. That'd be mad on a track together. So Nick kind of started throwing shade at M and tried to pull out the song that he did when he was really young, where he says the N-word and basically says stuff about black people and insults them. But it was because he had a girlfriend at the time that was black that they broke up with, and he was just really angry. And, you know, everybody that has spoke about that song has said, you know, I don't know what you're talking about, Nick Cannon. Like, nobody actually thinks that he's racist. Nobody thinks that he thinks those things. He was clearly angry at NX more than anything else. So Nick Cannon tried biting him.
Who the fuck is Nick Cannon?
Nick Cannon, do you not know Nick Cannon?
No.
He's a weapon. He was a rapper of sorts, a musician-y kind of guy. He became a TV host. I think he hosted the Masked Singer in America or some shit. He did the rap battle show a couple of times. You know that one? I can't think of what it's called. You'll know his face when you see it though.
Yeah, I do know his face.
Yeah. And he's just one of them. He's like a Will Smith type. Maybe not even Will Smith, more like a Terry Crews type, where he's just on shows and just appears and he's just there. But no, I don't want to compare Nick Cannon to Terry Crews because I love Terry Crews and Nick Cannon's a little rat. But he's just one of those people that is just everywhere and just doing shit, and more of a celebrity than they are a musician. But yeah, so that's the story of how Eminem and Mariah had disses against each other, and how you didn't even know that Obsessed was about Eminem.
Oh, that has absolutely blown my mind.
Crazy.
The fact that Obsessed is about Eminem, and it clearly is in the music video. I thought you were lying. I'm bamboozled.
Honestly, genuinely. And now you need to listen to the warning.
I'm gonna.
Because the way that he samples Mariah's voice is fucking crazy.
The way that he samples Mariah's voice.
The way, yeah, all right, fuck me. I don't pick you up in your fucking perjury.
You do.
I didn't. I left it. I thought he's doing well today. I thought I'm not going to pick him up.
Don't be like that. Don't be like that.
Let's not sour things.
But
let's move on away from Mariah and M and over to...
This is actually my last one.
Oh, I can join you on this then.
Yeah,
if it's the one I think it is.
It is. It is the story of Adidon.
Yes. Okay, let's do this.
The story of Adidon is the best diss track of all time, in my opinion.
Yes,
because
let's clarify. It's the most brutal diss track of all time. Best is debatable for what you define as best, but brutal. Easily the most brutal.
In terms of just absolutely finishing someone and turning their image in the public eye around, what Pusha T, quite a small artist in comparison, did to Drake, one of the biggest artists in the world, is just unthinkable. The story of Adidon, oh my God. Literally, I don't... The first thing you've got to start with, no one would know that Drake had a son.
No.
If it wasn't for this song.
Nobody.
He revealed that the man has a hidden child.
He did. But there's a little factoid about this, right? Further on down the line, that Drake was going to announce his son.
Oh, yeah.
So his son's name is Adonis,
yeah.
Right. So do you know why this track is called The Story of Adidon?
Because he got a deal with Adidas.
And it's a little portmanteau on Adidas and Adidon, because it was going to reveal his son as part of the promo for Adidas. He was going to use him in promotional material.
That's gas. That reveal your child to the world in a brand deal.
Which would have been worse, to be fair. Which would have looked worse, yeah.
It's a good thing that Pusha T did it.
Yeah, it is actually, thinking about it.
Speaking of which, there's a bar in this song. You're hiding a child, let that boy come home. Adonis is your son and he deserves more than an Adidas press run.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
As if that's the way he was going to tell the world about his child.
Crazy, isn't it?
That's criminal.
Because I always wondered why it was called Adidon as well. But looking into this, I went, oh, it's Adonis and Adidas, and it's Adidon. Because I was like, what is Adidon?
Yeah, because I did exactly the same thing
earlier.
earlier.
Like a religious thing or something. It sounds a bit like
demonic.
No, you know what I mean? Like a Bible story of Adidon or something.
Like a verse.
Yeah,
a
like
verse
it was
in the
something
Bible.
where in the Bible they came out and revealed a son of somebody or something. I thought it was that kind of vibe. But then when I realized it was that, I was like, this is levels above. This is fucking insane.
But as a diss track, it is biblical.
It is.
It truly. I don't really have loads to go into. The beat that's used on the diss track is the same as Jay-Z's "The Story of OJ."
Yes,
which makes me assume that Jay-Z went, "Yeah, you can do that."
Yeah,
so
it wouldn't surprise me.
He must have been relatively
a little
on board
bit of a
with
cosign there.
Yeah, and then the cover for the diss track is actually an old picture of Drake in blackface.
Yeah, which is terrible.
Which is
Did you ever hear Drake's response as to what that picture was for?
No.
So he said, "This picture is from 2007, a time in my life where I was an actor and I was working on a project that was about young black actors struggling to get roles, being stereotyped and typecast. The photos represented how African Americans were once wrongfully portrayed in entertainment."
I mean, it probably is actually true, but it's just a strange thing to do still.
But the thing is it's also the fact that on this track that Pusha T is going in on Drake's, weirdness about his own race and how he's so coy about, what race he actually is and how he kind of like flip-flops between and whatever benefits him. So to then use that as the album cover as well is just, he's just sending it home. It's fucking ridiculous. And there's so much into this track that like, He didn't even respond at the end of the day.
He couldn't.
There was nothing he could say. And I don't even think there was anything that prompted this prior other than them just, Pusha T just not liking Drake. That's all I can think that there was.
Yeah, Pusha T just...
Was there anything prior to this?
I don't think so.
Or was this just one of those situations where it's like Kendrick where he just always hated Drake? I think everybody just fucking hates Drake.
Well, from what I see, he seems like he's a bit of a weirdo in the industry.
Yeah, you're not kidding with the fucking Millie Bobby Brown shit. Jesus Christ, man. He's a fucking freak.
I'm trying to find if there was
anything before it.
On May 25th, 2018, Pusha T released his third studio album, Daytona.
It was on Daytona, wasn't it?
The album's last track, Infrared, contained alleged references to Drake and ghostwriting. Drake responded by releasing the diss track Duppy Freestyle.
Oh, there we go.
A few hours later, the song garnered significant media attention. Pusha T first responded that day on Twitter. The story of Adidon was released 4 days later. That sounds like a synopsis.
Yeah, he shouldn't have done it. He wanted that smoke. He didn't want that smoke at the end of the day. Bro should have left it well and truly dead. I think the thing is with Drake is he thinks he's a better rapper than he actually is. I think that's a problem.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, some of Drake's first couple albums are actually all right, but then it's just gone... In the last 5 years, he's been shocking.
Absolutely
As a hip-hop / rap artist, he's really bad now.
He's fallen off. He's fallen off entirely, and I don't think he'll ever... He used to think that he was up there, and you could argue that he was up there with the big dogs, and, like he was up there with relevance of Jay-Z and Snoop Dogg and everybody that's massive, Dr. Dre and all them. Not anymore. Is he fuck anymore?
Do you know what I want to give a shout-out to? And I think that this is one of the best diss tracks that doesn't actually diss the person. Kanye West released a song. Oof.
Oh.
Let me find out what year this was.
Oh, is this a song I think it is?
Yeah.
Is this the one against Drake?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Let's figure out what year this is first. I know exactly where you're going with this.
So, in a similar time period to the story of Adidon...
Just keep all of that in, please. Just keep it all in. Carry the fuck on. Carry on.
Yeah. Kanye West released Lift Yourself.
Yes.
Lift Yourself is just the best diss track ever because what Kanye did here was he created a fire beat, right? Went to Drake and said, do you want to do a song with this beat? Drake said, yeah, sounds really good. love the beat. And then a few weeks later, Kanye West released the song, and it's just him going, whoop, poop, diddy scoop.
Scoopity poop, poop to scoop, whoop, whoop.
Whoop,
Fucking bars.
But it's just like, I remember putting it on and I was like, what the fuck is happening?
I was genuinely like, has Kanye lost his fucking mind? Because this would have been around the time of like, I Love It had just come out and stuff like that. So this coming out, you kind of think like, is he going down some weird abstract route here?
But just absolutely slewing Drake.
I had absolutely no idea at the time, though.
We've had so much Drake hate on this episode, and I'm here for it.
Well, it's because he's been dissed by apparently fucking everyone.
But yeah, Drake has since done interviews about Lift Yourself and said, like, I couldn't believe it. Like, I thought we were calm, I thought we were cool, and then all of a sudden he just did this. But obviously with Kanye being so close to Pusha...
But also Kanye being a family man, maybe he didn't even know about this whole thing. And after he found that out, he thought, no, fuck you, Drake, actually. If you're going to be like that to your own son, I'm not going to fucking respect you at all. But also with him being bezies with Pusha probably helped him.
It's just a concoction of bad things.
Kanye just loves to fucking just jump on the bandwagon. And to be fair, because he did that, it makes sense that he did the remix of... the song that Metro Boomin did, like that.
But the weird thing about that is, in between those two songs coming out, Kanye and Drake kind of made up, and Drake did a concert with Kanye for the Larry Hoover event.
Oh, yeah.
So then when he did like that, I thought, what?
Yeah,
but he clearly just wanted him at the event to get some eyes on it and
make
make
he had like Marilyn Manson and DaBaby because he knew it was controversial at the time.
No, that was a different event.
No, I know, but I'm saying like he
was just doing anything.
He just gets people at events because he knows that it'll get eyes on it. Like, do you think he actually wanted Marilyn Manson there? Or do you think it was because it's Marilyn Manson and it's what did Kanye do with Marilyn Manson? I need to watch that. He just likes controversy no matter what.
It's facts. But that's it from me.
He's a mad bastard. Right, I'm gonna go on to I've got an honourable mention. Which isn't really an honourable mention, it's just a fun one. But the one I'm going to do now is one that you'll be very familiar with, and that is Eminem with Kill Shot, which is the MGK diss. So this is, I can rap this one pretty much bar for bar. I've listened to it countless times. I think it might actually be, you can scrabble on Last FM. I think it might genuinely be like in my top 5.
You can scrabble on Last FM?
Yeah.
What?
Scrubbling on Last FM.
What the fuck is that?
Do you not know Last FM?
It's a music platform, isn't it?
Yeah, so what you can do is you link it to your... I don't know why it's called that, by the way, but you link it to your Spotify or your streaming service, and every time you play a song, it lists it on there, so you can see all of your stats for the year.
What the fuck is Scrabble?
I don't know. All right, this is just what it's called. I didn't fucking name it.
Yeah, carry on.
You can... So this might be my most listened to song on Last FM. And this was probably the best M had sounded in about 5 years when this was released at the time. Genuinely the best that he'd sounded. And so it all started when in 2012, MGK posted a tweet about M's daughter Hailey, who was 16 at the time, just to add that in. He says, okay, so I just saw a picture of Eminem's daughter, and I have to say she is hot as fuck in the most respectful way possible because M is king. You can't give him respect after that because A, you should know not to talk about fucking Eminem's daughter. Literally fucking Eminem's daughter. And B, she was 16, brother. That's the weirdest shit to say. That's such a weird comment to make.
Yeah, but if he's only like 23...
Why did you just say, yeah, but I didn't like that? That's a different...
Yeah, but if he's only like 23, then it's not that weird.
What? You've got to be kidding. You've got to be kidding.
MGK said that in an interview.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he was in about Kylie Jenner and she was like 16 to 18 and he goes, yeah, but I'm only 23. It's not that weird.
Fucking hell, man. He's a fucking
I do not condone this behavior.
Jesus Christ. We're clipping that. And MGK claimed to apologize for this behind the scenes with no proof, which I call cap on because how did he even
At least he said M's king, though.
Yeah, I know, but that doesn't defend the point that he's just made.
No, true.
It's like you can't talk about M's daughter. He should know. Everybody, Ja Rule did that. Cannabis did that. Everybody that he's fucking destroyed did that. It just doesn't go well for you. So in 2015, MGK claimed that M had banned him from going to Shade 45, which was M's radio station on Sirius XM. And it was a situation where there wasn't any valid proof of that. It's just that he went to go there one time and basically got denied entirely. So the running theory was that M had banned him because of what he said about Hailey, which is, rightfully enough. And then in 2017, MGK did a freestyle on Power 106 FM and doubled down on the fact that he'd been banned from Shade 45. So he brought it back up 2 years later, clearly hurt by this situation. Bro was hurting bad. And then MGK collabed with Tech9 on a track called No Reason, the Mosh Pit song, which I remember listening to when it came out. I can't remember which album it was on, but I remember listening to the album top to bottom because this was when I was really into Nina. And I didn't even clock, at the time I didn't even know who MGK was. And then I also didn't even clock that there was disses in there. And it was a decent track, to be fair. I did enjoy the track. But he threw disses at M on this track. And he says, I pop cherries and pop stars. You popsicles is not hard. Popped in on top of the charts. Out the cop car to remind you all just rap and not God. And I don't care who got bars. So he's saying, you're just a rapper, you're not a god. After M had released Rap God. It's clearly aimed at him. And then he says, you gonna need a doctor. I ain't talking about the one from Compton. So again, that's a diss at Dre, which is linked to Eminem, and it's all leading back to M. So Tech9 is friends with M. So a lot of people were like, Tech, are you gonna let MGK diss Eminem on your own song? But Tech9 had no idea that he was dissing Eminem at all. He didn't even clock it because it was such subliminal. You can rap, but you're not God.
That I need a doctor one's obvious, bro. If I can pick up on it instantly.
Yeah, I know. But he just didn't. And he had a text from his producer saying the same thing, where his producer basically said, have you seen social media? Like, everybody's saying this. Did you even pick up on that? His producer didn't pick up on it either. And he was like, no, I had no idea. And he says he couldn't believe he would do that, but he did do that, is what he said in a text message.
There's no way he didn't know about that. I'm sorry, but he's a rap god.
No, there's no way. There's no way that Tech would let that happen knowingly. I completely believe
I think he did.
No, he didn't.
I think that he let that happen knowingly.
No.
Yep, and he was fine with the drama and just said, I didn't know about it. Bro.
No, I'm sorry.
I'm not massive. Like I like rap music. If I can pick up on it on first time reading it.
It just sounds like, you don't think of it as a diss. It just sounds like, you're going to need a doctor. I ain't talking about the one from Compton.
It just sounds
like a reference to Dr. Dre. It doesn't sound like a diss at Dr. Dre.
Nah.
It just sounds like he's referencing Dr. Dre.
Nah.
There's not a chance in hell.
Tech9 did that on purpose.
No, he didn't.
Or he allowed it to happen on purpose.
No, he would never. He would never.
You don't know the man.
Tech9 respects Eminem and Eminem so highly. Nemnem. He loves Nemnem. Nemnem is his favorite. Nemnem is his god. There is no way that he knew that was happening. It just sounds like a reference to Dr. Dre. Only looking in hindsight can you go, okay, that's clearly a diss.
Anyway, carry on. You're wrong, but carry on.
August 31st, 2018, M dropped Kamikaze, which dissed several artists, including MGK. And on the song Not Alike, M went in on MGK and said, so he does a feature, decides to team up with Nina, but next time you don't got to use a Tech9 if you want to come at me with a sub-machine gun. So it sounds like he's talking about Tech9s and machine guns, but he's saying you don't got to go on Tech9's track to try and subliminally diss me. You can just fucking leave it alone. And I'm talking to you, but you already know who the fuck you are, Callie. I don't use sublims, and sure as fuck don't sneak diss, but keep commenting on my daughter, Haley. Basically, like, it's clearly saying, you remember what you said back in 2012? Well, you're a fucking dickhead, because I'm coming for you now. And 2 days later, MGK responded with Rap Devil, and then dropped a music video on September the 3rd, which was a couple of days after that. And then M released, I don't know if you remember, he did a bunch of...
Wait. Rap Devil was actually a very good diss track.
So Rap Devil was not bad, is what I was saying.
No. Get off your glazing hype.
No. I'm not on my glazing hype.
It wasn't not bad. It was good.
It was all right. It wasn't great. The reason why it wasn't great is because the stuff that he went in, it wasn't a diss track because he kept praising Eminem throughout the track. He kept saying things where he's like, yeah, you're cooler than me and all this stuff, but I can still do this, that, and the other. And it felt like he hadn't fully committed to the diss, which is the problem. You can't throw a diss at M and not fully commit to the diss. Some of the stuff that he said, I thought, the beard is weird. That made me laugh. That was a good bar. I liked that. So, like I say, not bad. It wasn't great. As a diss track, he was praising him too much. It was a good diss track. He was being sacrilegious. That was the problem.
No, you're just the number one MGK. He
was worshipping his ball sack. He was sacrilegious. Anyway, M then released an interview with Sway. I don't know if you remember this bout of interviews that he did after Kamikaze. And he was asked about the feud, and M explained that he didn't respond initially because he didn't want to give MGK exposure. But then on September the 14th, which is a couple of weeks after MGK released his, M dropped Kill Shot, and it released as an official single about 7 days later, and just absolutely demolished MGK as a whole, and wiped his ass off the planet, to the point where people claim that Eminem's diss on MGK was the reason why he switched genres. And we spoke about this before, and he was always into pop punk anyway, so it's, it wasn't a surprise. But this probably didn't help. This probably nudged him in a direction a little bit. It probably there must have been some influence on his decisions.
I don't even particularly think it did. I think he'd already had a song out with Travis Barker before this even happened.
True. Yeah.
So it's kind of like his previous album before this wasn't 100% rap anyway.
Yeah, okay.
So it's like he was probably doing it, but
it definitely nudged.
It doesn't change the fact that Kill Shot was an absolutely obliterating diss track.
Decimated him entirely. Like, I can't believe.
I remember at the time watching Rap Devil or listening to Rap Devil and thinking, oh, this is actually quite good. What's Eminem going to do here? And it kind of took a little while. It felt like it took a minute, which, to be honest, I actually think he loses points for.
Because it took him so long to come up with a response. Fairs.
Because when we talked about a lot of these today, the Drake, Kendrick beef,
same
quick,
day, maybe next day.
Chip for one after the other, quick. Even you said then MGK's Rap Devil was a couple days after Kamikaze.
Yeah.
So then for M to need 2 weeks to put it together.
Well, I don't know if it was so much him putting it together or because he did in the interviews, he said, I'm not going to reply at all. So I reckon after the interviews, some shit's gone down online. M's chronically online. He loves to read people's reviews and shit. And he probably saw everybody saying, Eminem's not going to respond to that shit. Like that. And he's gone, right, fuck it. You know what? I will respond. And then he's gone, fuck it. I'll do it. I'll release Kill Shot. Let's go for him. Also, the album cover was pretty cool. The single cover.
Yeah, I've seen
him
it
in the
with
crosshair. I really
But I do also think that you're too biased with this one because
maybe a little bit.
Because you are actually a stan.
Oh, yeah. Oh, through and through.
So,
I'll admit that.
It's like... Yeah. I don't know what it's like asking me about. It's like asking me about the best English bands. You always know what the answer is going to be.
Yeah.
So
Kooks. So this debuted at number 3 on the US Billboard Hot 300. That'd be crazy. In its first week, which again for a diss track is fucking crazy, and we've only seen the likes of that with Not Like Us. That's the only track since that's done that, or even before that, really, that's hit that kind of level. So it gained over 38 million on YouTube within the first 24 hours of release, which at the time made it the 19th most viewed video at all on the platform in the first 24 hours. The 19th in history of YouTube.
As in 24-hour period?
Yeah.
Right, not overall.
No. Like, within the first 24-hour period, the 19th most, it was 19th on the list. But the number 1 for an audio-only release on YouTube. Wow. And I don't know if it still holds that title, but it basically did fucking numbers because it was such a bop as well. I love that track so much. And it held the biggest YouTube debut for a hip-hop video ever, surpassing Kanye West and Lil Pump's I Love It, which beat the record just the week before. So they beat the record with I Love It. And then M came out with Kill Shot and beat their record that they just set.
That's pretty cool.
And overall, I just think that beef was really, really good because it got the best out of M. It was the best M that we'd seen in 5 years up until that point. It made him get back on his fucking shit. He released Kamikaze, which was a diss. He was still doing the shouty voice, which a lot of people don't like. I quite like it, but I can admit that it's not the most listenable. People probably wouldn't bump it that much. They'd listen to the album once and then turn it off. But it did make M come out of his shell and readdress things. And I think it brought out a better side of him, personally. We got to see some good shit.
This is like me talking about one of my fucking homies.
What do you mean?
Like, who stopped drinking or something.
Well, he's 25 years
old. I agree. This was a fantastic diss track. And it's just a shame that Eminem went back to being shit again after it.
Well, Houdini. We're not talking about Houdini.
Houdini's mid.
Shit on it. No, it's not. It's fucking amazing. Last one. We got one more track to talk about here. And it's not really a diss track. It's just a fun one. And I don't know if you know it. Lily Allen.
Huh?
Alfie. You know Alfie? Do you not know Alfie? So this was aimed at her own little brother. So I remember the music video for this because
so Lily Allen did a diss track on her little brother.
It's not really a diss track, no, but it's a track about her little brother and all the things she dislikes about him and this, that, and the other. And essentially, it was more of an eye opener for him to kind of say, "Look, I care about you. Please stop doing the stuff that you're doing because you're destroying your life." It's a very upbeat song. The music video's got a puppet, which is her little brother pretending to be him. And so in this song, she's trying to persuade him to emerge from his room and to stop smoking his life away, basically. He spends way too much time smoking weed, watching television, playing video games and all this shit. And what she said about this song was, "When I wrote Alfie, nobody really knew who I was. At first, he was really upset about it because he thought that I was pointing out all of his bad points and attacking him. I thought it was really flattering. I thought he'd be really, really happy because it proved how much I loved him. That I care about him and I want him to do something with his life. I suppose his paranoia, induced by smoking so much weed, made him think, why are you trying to be mean?" And it was something that I thought of. I was trying to think of non-rap diss tracks, and that popped to my mind. And I went, "It's kind of a diss. It's a little bit of a diss because she's basically fucking thrown him under a bus there and outed him." And I think he's an actor now. I think he's acted in a few things, not a big one, but he's had some roles in some shows and maybe done some Broadway and shit like that.
Well, that's
so
interesting.
he's turned his life around, and maybe this was the thing that did that for him.
This track could have helped him. I think that's a nice way to end it.
This track could have helped him.
Definitely going to end it. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video, this podcast, this audio
Listening
thing, however you're listening.
Whatever this is.
Like, subscribe, rate us on Spotify. Do everything.
We're everywhere. We're anywhere. We're in your living room. We're in your kitchen. We're in your bathroom.
This is getting a bit weird now, mate. What the hell? But peace.
See ya.